What I'll be talking about today is air versus battery powered tools that will be used on service trucks to go out on roadside calls for these trucks. Um, Even like United Rental, they have all their equipment that they rent out. So as you can see here, first there is a air hose on the ground here between it looks like two 55-gallon drums. That right there is a safety hazard because if you were happen to be walking by, you catch your toe on it, you trip, or you step on it and you could slip. It could slip right out under you through the floor oiling. So that is, according to OSHA law, OSHA rules and regulations, is an unsafe workplace, and that you cannot work in that. Right here is a picture of a Milwaukee half-inch impact gun being used to take an axle nut and more than likely also the tires and everything else off of, I don't know what kind of vehicle that is, but it's looks to me like a car. The difference between the battery and air tools would be the weight, usability, the mobility, decibel level, and of course the price. Price is a major factor with these. The decibels of the air tools are going to be much higher than the battery because of the air that is zipping through it at 100, like 100, 120 psi, I believe. So like a diesel engine is only 83. That's still loud enough to where it could hurt your ears over time. But an air hammer, 100 decibels. Air compressor, which is 94 decibels, still not that loud, but not going to feel good. Decibels of a battery tool, like an impact wrench, is 107. So that's still on the upper sides of it. But that is when it's constantly sitting there hitting and hitting and hitting, trying to break something free. The hearing loss, according to OSHA, any tool or anything that is over 89 or 85 decibels, it is required, not required, but recommended to use hearing protection like earmuffs, earplugs, something along the lines to protect your hearing, so that way you don't get tinnitus or partial hearing loss or going completely deaf. That's where I got those from, was CDC and Granger. Right here you can see a picture of a half-inch Milwaukee impact gun that comes with 2 batteries, a charger, and a hard case, and plus the impact gun. $449. Not the cheapest thing in the world, but it'll get you started. Here you see a 1-inch impact gun from Omega. It's $189, but that only comes with the impact and 2 sockets. That doesn't give you the air fittings, the air line, the air compressor, the electric to run the air compressor. Here's what else you would need to run the air gun. It'd be an air compressor that, if you're like a service truck, you have to have it mounted to the truck. So that's $4,000 right there. Then you'd want to have an air hose reel, something that can retract on its own, so you're not standing there on the side of the road rolling up a hose, which takes forever and is dangerous on the side of a highway. Plus, having an air hose on the side of the highway is very dangerous because you could be walking back to your truck to go get something, trip and fall into the road and get ran over and killed, which is not good. That involves a lot of paperwork. What else you would need for a battery gun would be a new battery, in case as you discharge it and recharge it, like this DeWalt battery here. It's a 5 amp hour battery, so as I discharge it and charge it, it will eventually lose its charge, so it won't charge completely full. And then, of course, as you're discharging and charging more batteries as you're going along, you might need a new charger because the wires inside might get frayed, the cord might get frayed, the base might even crack. So that's a possibility. And with the difference between the battery guns that are out now and the ones that have been around, like the half-inch impact gun, that is a brushless gun. These, like this Porter cable here, it's a drill. I don't have an impact gun for Porter cable, but it has brushes in the motor part here of the drill. So when you're doing it, you can hear the brushes rushing against it. Like this DeWalt drill here, it's brushless, as you can see on the back where it said brushless motor. And then There's no brushing against the side of the motor, which is another wear part in the battery guns. Now, with air guns, you need to oil them regularly. Then, eventually, the hammer mechanism in both of them might go out. So you have to account for that. Plus, in the air guns, you have to account for the air fittings, the O-rings, the seals, anything else that could possibly go wrong. And if you have any other questions, that'd be the time to ask. None? Okay. Thank you for watching.